Crazy HOA Karen tried to take my land. But she didn't expect this. Before I dive into this absolutely insane story, don't forget to hit the like button and leave a comment letting me know where you're watching from. Your support means the world to me. Now, let's get into the story. I had lived on my property for years with no issues. Everything was peaceful, and I never had trouble with my neighbors. That is, until Karen decided that my land was actually hers. It started with a fence. One morning I walked outside and saw something that made my jaw drop. A brand new wooden fence had appeared overnight, right across part of my property. Someone had just decided to take a piece of my land and claim it as their own. And I knew exactly who it was. I marched over to Karen's house, trying to keep my cool. I knocked on her door, and when she opened it, she had that smug look on her face, like she had done nothing wrong. "Karen, did you put up a fence on my property?" She crossed her arms. "That's not your property, it's mine. I can do what I want with my land." I couldn't believe what I was hearing. "Karen, the property lines are clearly marked. I have the legal documents to prove it." She just shrugged. "I don't care what your little papers say, it's my land now." At that point, I realized she wasn't going to listen to reason. I decided to take a step back and figure out my next move. But Karen wasn't done. The very next day, I heard loud construction noises. When I looked out my window, I was stunned. Not only had Karen refused to remove the fence, but now she was building a gazebo on my land. Workers were hammering away, setting up wooden beams, and Karen was supervising like a queen overseeing her kingdom. That was it. I had had enough. I stormed over to her, barely able to contain my anger. "Karen, this is too much. You can't just build whatever you want on land that isn't yours." She didn't even blink. "Oh, please, if I wanted to build a palace here, I could." She waved her hand dismissively and turned back to the workers. That was when I knew. This wasn't just about a fence or a gazebo. This was about power. She thought she could take whatever she wanted and get away with it. She truly believed she was above the law, above common decency, and above any sense of fairness. But I wasn't going to let her get away with it. Instead of wasting any more breath arguing with Karen, I decided to hit her where it would actually hurt: the law. I gathered all the necessary documents: property deeds, land surveys, official records, everything that proved beyond a shadow of a doubt that the land was mine. I even spoke to a lawyer to make sure I had everything in order, just in case Karen tried to pull something sneaky in court. Then I took her to court. Karen probably thought I was bluffing because when she got served with legal papers, she looked completely stunned. But things got even better. In court, she tried to argue that she had a right to the land because, according to her, the HOA approved her using it. But legal ownership isn't decided by an HOA, it's decided by actual property deeds. The judge wasn't amused by her excuses. The judge didn't take long to make a decision. Karen was ordered to remove everything: the fence, the gazebo, all of it. On top of that, she had to pay a fine for illegally taking land that wasn't hers. She was furious, but she had no choice. A few weeks later, I watched with satisfaction as workers tore down her fence and demolished the gazebo. Karen stood there, arms crossed, watching in defeat. Now, every time I step outside and see my land just the way it should be, I feel a sense of victory. Justice had been served, and I had reclaimed what was rightfully mine. Karen, she doesn't speak to me anymore, but every time she walks past my house, I can see the bitterness in her eyes. And honestly, that's just fine with me. Hit like, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video.